most of my free time tonight.
What?
That was most of my free time tonight.
Oh.
And it just came out today, so.
What was the board game you were playing?
Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Is that like a mystery game?
It's technically a horror game. It's like basically you are like in a weird mansion, and each character has like their stats, like dependent on the character. Because one, like there's like the little kids that are faster and have more sanity, but like are weaker and don't know as much. And then like the big brute characters that are just kind of dumb but strong, that kind of thing. And you move around the mansion, opening up different rooms, and each room has some kind of event that happens on it, or like gives you access to other rooms around the mansion, things like that. And as you go, there's these weird like omen things that are activated that can like have an effect on the game. Like you might lose a stat, gain a stat, things like that.
Oh.
And after you get so many haunts, or so many omens, I should say, it activates a haunt, which is like a kind of an event that happens on the board that's procedurally generated depending on what the board looks like when you activate the haunt. So like in the one we had, that's where we ended because it was just kind of a bad haunt. It's like my character became the nanny that was trying, like the haunted nanny basically. I was trying to put all the other characters into the nursery. So I had to like chase them around and turn them into babies. And then on the next turn, tell that baby to go to the nursery, and they like warp to the nursery. But then they can just leave. Like they don't have to stay there. And that's why I felt it was kind of broken. Because like my win condition was to get all of the other characters into the nursery, and their win condition was to get all of the characters out of the mansion. So it's like it's just this obnoxious, like I can only put one in at a time, and I just have to hope they can stay.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't a good haunt, but that game can be really fun. Like there's some times where it's like no one is like the betrayer.
Yeah.
And it's just like everyone working together to like fight zombies that pop up in the mansion or something like that. Like it's all really interesting stuff, but it's just dependent on like what items a certain character has. Like in this case, the oldest player became the betrayer, which is why it was me. Like I didn't even pull the haunt. I just became the betrayer because I was the oldest person playing. So it's like weird conditions that activate it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any of the conditions, then you put that card back and the next haunt activates it. So things like that. It's something, it feels like it should be a video game, but it's a board game. It's kind of one of those. Like it's very complicated, but it plays out in a lot of different ways each time you play it. It's interesting. It's one of my favorite board games actually, but it's just the rules talk kind of killed it for me.
Yeah, yeah. I think we've all been there where people have to talk about the rules for like 30 minutes, and then you're just like, who gives a fuck anymore?
Right, like let's just play. We can make our own rule.
Right.
But the problem with that is like when you do activate the haunt, like I said, there's someone that's the betrayer, and then everyone else has their own conditions. So each of those groups of people like reads separately and keeps the details secret from the other group. So they were all trying to like talk about what like the reason that they couldn't stay in the nursery without explaining like that their win condition was to all get out. So like if one person's stuck in the nursery, they can't win, basically. But I was trying to explain that like there's no way for me to get my win condition if they can just walk out, because my win condition was to get them all in the nursery.
Yeah.
So it's just like that kind of thing where you're talking around it without actually being able to say anything really, because you don't want to give away the secrets.
Oh.
And it got to the point where I was just like, I'm just going to read yours because I don't understand what's going on. And so that just makes it not fun because the whole point is the secrets.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was one of the ones in the expansion, and I don't think they're as good as the base game ones were.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trash Talk Gamescast. These are week friends gather around, talk about the things they're doing and the games they've been playing. Justin's with me today.
I'm all alone. There's nobody here beside me.
I don't know
it's
that
like the
song.
cat. You don't?
No. Who does that?
I don't know. It's an old song. It's just like a classic.
Okay.
And I think I screwed it up, but
Sometimes my mom just like when she's just around the house, she just like hums like songs that I've never heard of, and they're like all oldies.
mm-hmm.
It's just kind of fun to have like your mom just singing oldie songs that you've never heard of, and you think she's just making them up. It's like
Brooke just regularly makes up songs.
I do that when I'm scared. Like I just make up and sing stuff when I'm scared to death.
Just to get yourself through it.
Yeah.
No, it's usually when she's coming out of the shower, she always has a new song, and it's just observational. It's just like, you know, dry in my butt, or something like that. Like, it's just stupid. Like,
It's pretty good.
yeah, right. Or like, you know, making food or whatever. It's like there was like a Family Guy joke about Randy Newman and like his songwriting ideas. And it's just like left foot, right foot, left foot.
Just singing
right
about things
foot.
that you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that basically, but every day of my life. For the rest of my life.
Does she do it while I don't know if I even want to ask this question.
No.
Let's move on.
Sometimes after.
Okay. Yeah, so how's your life going this week? What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
It's been a long week. Like, I don't even know why. Like, nothing particularly tiring has happened. It was actually fairly easy. Because, like, Monday, it was, like, all-day meetings, and they fed us and stuff like that. So, you know, that was pretty easy. And, like, Tuesday, I had first aid training at work, so, like, half the day was spent doing that. Like I said, last Friday, I was on an event outside of the office. So it was like basically Wednesday was the first like actual day I had just like, you know, at my desk all day doing stuff. But I think that's why it felt so long, because it was like that suddenly like felt super, you know, like I had a bunch of stuff to catch up on and things like that. But it's like I had all this time at my desk that I wasn't used to anymore after like 5 days of not being there. And so, yeah, it's just something about this week felt super long. And, like, I forget that, like, it was just this past Monday that I was in meetings all day. Because it feels like a week or two has happened since then. But, like I said, nothing bad has happened. It just, I'm really glad it's Friday night now.
Yeah.
But the week itself has been fairly boring on my end. Over the weekend, my you know, like I said, my plans were kind of last minute canceled. So I basically spent the whole weekend playing the New Game Plus on Spider-Man, which after the beginning foibles I was having with the costume changes and stuff, I just kind of fell into the groove of that and went through it really quickly. I'm already towards kind of the end game stuff.
Wow.
Where it's like just villain runs basically. And I probably played 8 or 10 hours of it, like just throughout the weekend. But I was trying to play it in kind of a cinematic way, so it was a little, you know, it was a little quicker because I wasn't doing any of the side quests or anything.
Yeah.
I was just kind of beelining to the next objective. Just, you know, for footage sake, it would look weird if I like veered off for a while and then came back, because I'd have to like cut that together in a way that makes it look seamless. So yeah, it was just very straightforward stuff. Trying to quickly move through sections again for, you know, the transitional element of it. Trying to like get through something before they stop talking, so I don't have to cut anything, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, as long as there's dialogue, it's relevant to the plot.
Right.
So, yeah, that was fun. And then Tuesday, the DLC came out, and I already 100% completed it.
Wow.
It wasn't terribly long.
Yeah.
I didn't play it Tuesday because I had D&D. But Wednesday, I booted it up, and I was in a Discord call with some friends that I don't get to talk to very often. And they were playing their own things. Like, we're all doing our own thing. But I, you know, booted up the DLC to play.
Yeah.
Subtitles on and everything. And it was really fun. Like, it's charming. I love Black Cat, so, like, their back and forth was really fun to me. The kind of, like, love triangle between, like, Peter, MJ, and Black Cat is always good. Like, in the comics, you know, TV shows, they've all handled it, and it's fun. She's just such a good character herself. Because she doesn't care. She's like, oh, you're with MJ again? That's nice. And then just, like, is all over him. Like, she knows exactly what she wants, and that's really fun.
Yeah.
and she just messes with people. Like, she's competent. Because there's one part that's like a chase scene, kind of like the Shocker stuff, except more of a ground chase, and like, it's hard. Like, she will get away if you miss a step, because she's just better than you. And it's kind of nice to like have a villain in the game that is actually better than him. And like she never really like, I don't think you have like a specific fight against her in the DLC because you would lose. It's more like kind of supplementary, like trying to stop her before she does something, that kind of thing. And some minor team up. She's always kind of the anti-hero. So there's that back and forth there. Mm-hmm. But there's some really good story stuff in there. It does, I can confirm now, like I was wondering last week, it does take place after the main game, after the post-credit scenes, all of that stuff. There's some fun little dialogue bits that like acknowledge that those plot points happened. They just don't really like make them the focus of this. So it's kind of like background stuff that I assume they'll touch on later. And there are some new activities and stuff. It's kind of weird. Like you get into the game by loading up your save file and then going into the menu and tabbing over to the DLC tab and loading that DLC from the menu. Mm-hmm. And then it basically boots into another start screen, and you start a new game for the DLC. And it has its own percentage completion. It loads you into the same map as the main game. Like nothing's new on it, except if like you can go inside a mansion at one point, or a museum at one point, and things like that. But sorry, Ridley just jumped up the door frame 5 feet.
Was that a cat?
Yeah, he just and then ran away. Anyway, and so yeah, it's all the same map. So like if you've completed all of the location snapshots and like gotten all the backpacks and stuff, like that's all just kind of grayed out already. Like there's not much on the map. You just have free reign over it. But there's new crime challenges. There's new screwball challenges. She was a side quest or a side mission character that you could do in the main game, and she's kind of taken over like for Taskmaster in the DLC as like the things that are dropped around the map to do. So like there's still the chases, the combat challenges, and a new one that is not good, and there's only one of them, so I don't know why they even included it. They could have just had the 2 types, but whatever. I don't even want to get into it. It's not worth talking about.
Well, what's the other type that you hate?
It's a gadget mission. Like it's not a terrible idea, but there's only one of them, and it's not executed well. So it's basically you have 2 different gadgets that you have to use to beat the enemies with.
Oh, okay.
And you have to like switch between them, and like if you try to just beat them up like in conjunction with the gadgets, you don't get any points. You have to actually beat them with the gadgets. So like it could be neat, but it's not.
That sounds not fun.
Right.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's not. There's new kind of like something new in place of the backpacks that are like old art scrolls that have been hidden around the city that you have to find. There's one new mission type, which is diffusing bombs using the spider bot, which is actually pretty fun. And then just kind of a few like variations of the old types. A new group in the Magia clan, like a crime group basically, but they're kind of the same enemies as before. Except they have a new brute with a machine gun, and he is brutal. Like he's really hard to take out, and his machine gun just like shoots out kind of without warning, almost like the Sable soldiers and how annoying they are. And so it's just like once they come out, you got to take them out first. Like just ignore everyone else and take them out, because otherwise you're gone. Like the enemies hit hard in this DLC. You can tell it's post game. They hit probably twice as hard as any other enemies in the game.
Do you have it on the hardest difficulty?
No.
Oh.
I had it on normal.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't imagine playing the DLC on the new ultimate difficulty.
Yeah.
Which I probably won't even play anyway. It annoys me because, like I said, 100% completed the DLC. Like that's pretty basic trophies for that one. It's just like complete all the districts, get all the collectibles, complete all the screwball challenges, and on excellent difficult or excellent ranking. Complete each like mission, which the DLC itself is only like 3 hours long, so that doesn't take very long. And there's one other one, I think, but it's nothing that you wouldn't do just by 100% completing the game, basically. But they added, when they did the New Game Plus, they added 2 new trophies to the main game. So I no longer have 100% trophy completion in that. And one of them is complete the game with New Game Plus. The other is complete the game on Ultimate difficulty.
Yep.
Which I don't plan to ever do. But now I feel like I have to continue 100% completing this game.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm not like a trophy hunter or anything. I never care about that. But with this game, it's like I'm already so close. I can't just leave one trophy undone. Like if I complete everything else in the game, I can't just leave that one. It's going to annoy me.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
And a lot of people have been solving that by doing a New Game Plus Ultimate run.
Yeah.
But because I'm doing my New Game Plus as like a recorded run, I didn't want to play it on Ultimate.
Yeah.
So that means I'm going to have to play it again on Ultimate, and I don't know if that's worth it. So, yeah, I'm like deep back into that game between the already 100% completing the DLC in like a day, basically, because I beat it like 7 p.m. or so on Thursday, and I started it like probably 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And that's 2 evenings, not like 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Like I completed the story that night, which I was kind of disappointed in because for one, it ended in a crazy cliffhanger that I'm not happy with. And 2, it only took like 2.5 hours to just go through the story, no side quests or anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I finished up the side quest stuff, like the districts, 100% completed it Thursday. So there was nothing to it. Like I waited a month for it, and it takes no time to complete if you're good at the game. But yeah, I'm also like I'm still doing the New Game Plus. I got a little bit burnt out last night. Like I went back into New Game Plus after beating the DLC, and I think I was kind of unsatisfied with the way the DLC ended. Still, I was like, I don't know if I want to get back into this again. So I played for a little bit. I wasn't really feeling it, and then dropped off. But yeah, I was gonna play some Castlevania Symphony of the Night tonight, but I got caught up in a board game with some friends, so I didn't do that. But I will report on that and how good the port is and everything of it next time. But that's pretty much it on the gaming front, actually. Did I say I beat Mega Man 11?
Oh,
last week?
You didn't say you beat it. You said you were almost there.
Okay, well I beat it over the weekend. I on a whim, I was like, I'm pretty close. I might as well just do it. So I went in and beat it. The ending is super. No, we went down to my mom's house, and I beat it on the way down there, because I try to keep Switch games for traveling, and that's why I had kept it originally, because I was going to play it with my friends on the way to Illinois, but that didn't happen. So I figured I'd still just play it, on the way to my mom's house, and I literally beat it in like half an hour after I booted it up. Like it took no time. There wasn't that much left. It was like just the final level, which was like the boss rush, and then a little bit of platforming stuff, and then the Wily battles. But it was easy. Like the way the game is structured, you've got the gear system that kind of gives you an edge because you can like slow down time, have super strong attacks, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like with the bolts and stuff you get, and the shop, you can just buy up as many E-tanks and lives as you need.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes the difficulty out, because if you don't use those, it's a hard game. But if you do, it's like the threat of death is not really there. Because if you go into any level with 9 E-tanks, you're gonna beat it. There's no level where you would take 9 E-tanks of damage and then still die. Unless you're just really bad.
Yeah, unless you're terrible.
Yeah. So, like, especially the final Wily battle was kind of just like an episode of Patience. Because it's a pretty predictable pattern, but he doesn't come down where you can hit him very often. So it's just like, one shot, wait.
Yeah. One
shot, wait. And the next phase, he's kind of going around a little bit crazier, but there's still a very noticeable rhythm to it, which is how Mega Man games are. But again, because of the E-Tank thing, you're just kind of like taking the damage and dealing with it.
Yeah.
Rather than like kind of like waiting for those moments to attack. It's like, eh, I can handle it.
Yeah, I can see how like just having it, they made it too easy to get E-tanks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably takes out a lot of like the stress and like.
Yeah, they cost like 80 bolts.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Sometimes the price goes down too because they have
it
like,
does.
a market fluctuation sometimes, and it's
That's
like,
true. But yeah, I mean that's a good game. Like it's the second like mainline Mega Man game I've beaten. Obviously, I've beaten all the Mega Man X games now, but as far as original Mega Man, which I've never been as big into, I've only beaten this one and Mega Man 8. So this is the best Mega Man game I've beaten for sure, and it's probably my favorite, just because I don't really like the classics as much.
Yeah, I need to get back into it because I think I beat 3 Robot Masters and I just haven't gotten around to playing it again.
The Robot Masters are easily the best part.
Yeah.
They're some of the best Robot Masters ever made.
It's always the best part.
Well, no, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, in some of the games, the Robot Masters are kind of a slog, and there's like 1 or 2 that are memorable. This one, like, almost all of them are amazing. Like, their levels are very unique and interesting. I was actually watching a Game Maker video. It's like the guy that made Game Maker does, like, kind of tutorial, like, analyzing the structure of games and things like that, and, like, why they work, you know, like what goes into the way they're made, that kind of thing. And he was analyzing the level design of Mega Man 11 and how it's brilliantly simple, because every level basically boils down to like a left corridor, like a straight left corridor, straight right corridor, a zigzag where it's like you're kind of just going down a hallway, drop, other way, drop down. A curve, or a box. I think those are the only ones. There might be one other type. But so basically he's saying like every level in the game, or every level in every, Robot Master is built with these ideas. And he went over a few of the examples of like this boss has 15 rooms. And it's made up of 3 left rooms, 3 box rooms, and like kind of explaining how they introduce an element in a straight room, and then we'll give you like a zigzag room that makes that more complicated, and then makes it even more complicated in a big box room. That kind of really tests that, and like each level has 3 or 4 elements that make up the entire level, but it presents them in different ways that kind of ups the difficulty as you go to prepare you for that. And Mega Man games have always been like that, but I feel like 11 kind of like nails down that formula in a way that just works functionally more than some of the past games where it's like they would introduce an element and then just make it super unfair every other time. You don't feel as eased into it, basically. So I found that really interesting, and like it's like, yeah, like Mega Man 11 has a really smart level design.
Yeah.
And it's kind of refreshing in like today's era of just like, here's an open world, go play.
Or like randomly generated levels.
Yeah.
Worlds.
I mean, I don't like those anyway. But so yeah, I thought that was kind of more interesting. Like playing the game is a lot of fun, but thinking about the way it was like made, because I noticed that kind of stuff when I was playing it, but you don't really think about it when you're going through a level because it's just built in a way that's smart. You're just like, oh, okay, this makes sense. But then you actually break it down and you're like, dang, they put a lot of thought into making this way specifically.
I always felt that way with the regular Mega Man games. Like, there have always been some of the easiest ones to dissect just because it's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they have like a framework in mind, and then they have like, all right, how do we design around these frameworks? Yeah, and just like do what you said.
Yeah, but like if you're wanting to get into game development, especially, I think the Mega Man games are a really good place to look as far as like how game design works, because they are a fairly simple formula, repeated over and over again, but like it's a classic structure that a lot of games are still built on.
Yeah,
like if you look at like the new God of War game, for example, sure, it's not like blocked rooms that you're sliding between, but it's still that same idea of like they introduce an enemy for the first time.
Yeah.
You fight one of that enemy, you move on, maybe there's a puzzle room where it kind of gives you an idea of, oh, this is how you do this puzzle. And then like the next room, you might fight like 2 or 3 of those enemies. And then in the next room, there's like a more complicated version of that puzzle. Like it's all still the Mega Man design. It's just turned on its head, behind the shoulder, big, kind of beautiful 3D world.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Mega Man structure. Like that is the building blocks of video games right there.
All right. I don't know where to go.
Right.
From there.
Yeah. That's all I got really.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, also, fun fact before we move on. If you pre-order Spyro on the PlayStation Network, you get a dynamic theme, and it's really pretty. It's like the menus are all purple, which I don't really care for purple, but that's fine. You can also mix and match your custom themes if you want. But the home screen, like the kind of the main menu or whatever, is like a pretty like nighttime like Spyro scene with like a 3D animated Spyro there, just kind of like bobbing and like looking out. It's really peaceful and nice. The last time I enjoyed a PS4 theme this much was Final Fantasy VII, because there's kind of a nice, like, it looked like Advent Children, but the music got really annoying after a while.
Yeah,
because it's just loud and like. So this one's nice and peaceful.
I say get rid of audio for themes. Just get rid of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I had the Spider-Man one before this, and like. It's just Spider-Man. Like, it's just a picture of Spider-Man on a red background. It was real boring. I wanted to keep it because it's Spider-Man, but they didn't even try. So that's why the Spyro impressed me so much, because like, oh, this is like a 3D and animated. Like, that's nice.
I have the one for Destiny on my PS4 right now, like the first game. And it's just like, it's got the music and it's good, but it comes through my cheap-ass speakers sometimes. So it sounds all tinny and stuff. And I'm just like, this is like grating on my ears, and you turn it off.
I had the Destiny one for the longest time. That one was really nice.
Yeah.
I think I had that actually until Final Fantasy 15. I switched it for that, and then I did Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, the Destiny one's one of the best, I think.
All right. I guess that leaves me. I haven't really done much this week. This week felt fast and slow for me. Like, I'm like, holy shit, it's Friday, but then but like, I just come home and I feel like I need to go to sleep at 8, and then I just stay up until past midnight. So I've been having like really rough sleeps this last week.
Same.
So in the meantime, I've been playing American Truck Simulator.
That would put me to sleep.
Shaking your head.
My mom works for a trucking company. I've cleaned out a lot of those trucks.
Oh yeah?
It's not interesting. Like, that's not an interesting profession to put into a video game.
I think it's pretty sweet, because like as a Canadian, I don't really know the American roads, right? So
that's fair.
That's one thing that I have an interest in, is like seeing how California is like mapped out in Nevada. They also have like Oregon and Arizona and New Mexico.
Wait, what was that first state you said?
Oregon.
There you go.
Oregon?
Yeah. No.
My ore is gone. That's.
It's the home of origami.
Yeah, like I find that stuff interesting, because I've always heard like podcasts where people are based in California or San Francisco or whatever, and they complain about the road system in like all these different cities. I'm like, oh, these are these cities from the podcasts that I listen to. That's cool.
Is it like actually accurate?
It's accurate enough. Like, it has to be scaled down, obviously, right? But it's and obviously they take out a lot of part of the cities as well. But yeah, like, it's fairly accurate, I'd say. Like, just from the descriptions of what people have said on podcasts, and I'm recognizing places. Yeah, I understand why LA has a really terrible road system, because there's like highways that you have to drive into, and instead of like having common sense and having like an off ramp so you could turn left, you have to go underneath this bridge and then make it like a huge like donut road was made. And then you go, instead of like having an off ramp to go up and then turning left, you have to go like underneath this thing and then go all the way around and then turn right. It's just,
oh yeah, we got a bunch of those.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I can't understand how highways were made like that. It doesn't make any sense.
Because they built the roads and they had to build around them. That's why.
I don't understand.
It's a lot cheaper to build around something than to tear it down and redo it.
That's absolutely true. Like I thought Toronto's road systems were bad just because none of the roads are like all that straight. There's like a few straight roads and then everything else is curvy for some reason. So it's a very curvy city. But once you go north of Toronto, everything like actually makes sense. Like everything's like kind of straight lines, unless you get into residentials. But whatever, that's residentials.
That's usually the difference between an old place and a new place. Because like something that was kind of added onto over time is messy. Something that's fairly like recent and kind of was built all at once, a lot cleaner.
Yeah, and America has a lot of old cities in it. Yeah. One thing I didn't really know about these games, but they also have like a what's it called? Like a business aspect to it. So what you're doing is you start off with just your truck, or you do quick jobs or whatever, and then you eventually build your way up. You own a garage. You can buy a truck, buy a trailer, and then you can build that stuff out and like hire AI drivers to drive for you. So they do deliveries and stuff, and you just make the money off their hard work.
You just watch them.
I wonder if you can. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but yeah, like I have a steering wheel, so like it's kind of fun just like driving a big rig with just like one hand. You're like, oh yeah, feel that power in my hand. Yeah. What else I wanted to say? Something just about the road systems in general. I can't remember what it was. America's weird. You have weird road systems. It's fun.
We have a lot of weird things.
Yeah, very weird.
We have a reality star for a president. Nothing's off limits.
Yeah, I drove to Las Vegas, and oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to say now. So I drove to Las Vegas, and so I'm going to Las Vegas soon. Like it should be January. I should be going. We'll see if that stays true or not. But yeah, I'm going there, so I'm kind of just scoping the place out, seeing what my surroundings are going to be like. So I'm going to like take a mental note and then go over to Las Vegas and see if it's like accurate at all. There's a lot of like skywalks, which is interesting.
Because the roads are full of strippers and homeless people.
Absolutely.
You got to walk over them.
They have like security at the stairs. It's like, no, sir, you can't come up here.
Yeah.
The privileged people.
This is only
gambling.
for people that can that have homes and clothes.
Right. The other thing I wanted to say was like when I was driving into Los Angeles, I recognized some of the buildings from GTA 5. So I'm like, holy shit, this game looks like GTA 5. And then I just like that was the first thought in my head. I said, holy crap, this game looks like Los Angeles, which is kind of funny. Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2 has a lot of like actually accurate places as well. I don't know if the road system is like specifically the same as it is over there. I think that's San Francisco. But I know there's a lot of like the landmarks and stuff that are the same, because Watch Dogs 1 was the same way. It was just like future versions. Like the bean in Chicago was like a weird shape now and things like that. But they were all still there. Because I've been to Chicago. I knew those landmarks.
Yeah. That's always fun.
That's always fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Jinx.
God damn it. Double jinx.
We're cute.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been playing. I played some Shadow of War. It feels like Shadow of Mordor. I got that on sale. I figured I'd get it. It's kind of weird when you first boot it up. It tells you that, hey, we listened to your feedback. We're taking out the store, July 15th or whatever date it was. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, because you just got it, so that date has already come and gone. You wouldn't know about the store at that point.
Yeah, or maybe you've read about it, but you know already that's gone.
Right.
If you're following it, right? Yeah.
It's like, I'm just saying, you're booting it up for the first time, and you're getting notified of a feature you didn't know existed yet because you're just booting it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just boot up and not see the store. You're like, oh, I guess they took the store out. Or you wouldn't know about the store at all and wouldn't know it's missing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's been like a very uneventful week. Here, I'm looking around to see if there's anything that's... No.
Because everything's been Red Dead Redemption 2 all week. Like, just the build-up to it. So, like, nothing else has happened.
Yeah, I I have that on my PlayStation. I've just been waiting for that, and I played that for an hour or so. It's like a lot of narrative. They haven't like let me out in the open world yet and just kill everybody. So yeah, like I need to get past the narrative stuff. It starts off in the winter, and you're all like on the run from the cops or something. There was like a heist that went wrong. People got caught and killed. It's kind of fun how they're doing this, like handling the narrative. It's you're slowly learning about this heist that went wrong, that this money got stolen and you don't know where it is, and if it's back at your safe house that you can't go to yet. But it's just sprinkling that in while you're trying to like keep these people alive from starving and freezing to death. Also, you help out John Marston. He's like on the side of the cliff dying.
Like you're a little kid?
No, that's James Marston.
Oh.
Yeah, this is John Marston.
I haven't played any. I don't know this series.
Yeah, well, Red Dead
The
Redemption.
name Marston sounded familiar as the lead guy,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, John Marston's the lead from the Redemption. This takes place.
That's what I was asking. He would be a little kid because this is in the past.
No, he's part of the gang. He's part of Dutch's gang. And you play
I thought
as
this
Arthur
was in
Morgan.
the past, though.
It is in the past. It's before the first game. It's before Red Dead Redemption.
But he's not a little kid.
No.
How old is he in the first one, then?
Yeah, I don't know, like 30-something, 40-something?
And how much before that is this one?
It's like 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I don't
I know nothing. The most I've seen from this game so far, aside from the horse balls, is aptly a gif of someone drawing a penis in the snow.
Oh, that's pretty
in the
good.
beginning at the yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Another thing I saw was a gif of someone someone found someone in the middle of nowhere. The horse kicked the guy and killed him, and then the dude ran his horse over the guy and shat on him. It's pretty good.
Nice. Game of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing that this weekend. Probably stream some. Yeah, not a whole lot going on over here.
No.
Very, nah.
I'm probably getting a new phone tomorrow. There's that.
That's exciting.
Tomorrow as of recording, so it doesn't matter to you guys.
What are you looking at? Pixel 3?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Probably the Pixel 3 XL. Although they made it bigger. Like my phone's already pretty big. It's a 6-inch screen, and the new one's a 6.3. I'm like, you don't need to keep making it bigger.
But what if we made it bigger?
Right. But no, they have a deal right now for like basically a buy one get one free type thing.
Oh yeah.
If you open a new line. So I've been trying to get my mom off of AT&T. So I figure if I can get her on my plan, then we can both get new phones, and she basically gets a cheaper deal a cheaper plan than what she's been getting with a free phone, and I upgrade also.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. So, but I didn't pre-order it. I put something on Twitter. I was like, someone told me not to pre-order the Pixel 3 because I was really tempted. I didn't pre-order it. I'm just still getting it anyway.
For some reason, I started looking into getting an iPad. I thought that might be pretty cool to just have on my desk and like play around with.
No.
Also, there's games on there that aren't on the Android yet. I don't know. I probably won't get it. I need to do stuff first. I have other things to do with money first.
Yeah. Just like I've been tempted by a PS4 Pro and a DSLR camera, but I'm trying to put it off because I have school loans that I should probably take care of.
Right.
I keep forgetting because like they're in deferment, but it's like they're probably not going to stay in deferment because I have a good job now. So
yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Justin, where can people find you?
Oh, my headphones came out when I took a drink. I assume you were asking where people can find me, and that would be Twitter and YouTube if they look up Zero Score. Didn't even stop the flow.
And you can find me, your host Thomas, on Twitter, CSG Thomas on Twitter. You can also email me, thomas@charshot.com, and also visit our website, charshot.com. And until then, guys, enjoy your games.
Yeah, do that.
All right.
Oh yeah, don't stop it.
You good to go?
Yeah, on none of these stories. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait. All right.
Sorry, I was trying to start the show and then I just held in my breath until I couldn't hold it in anymore.
I guess that's all right. I was gonna start the show, but then I decided to suffocate myself instead.
Oh Lord! Hello everyone. Welcome to the.
Since I'll give you a second. Since we have no news this week, I'm gonna just.
What do you mean no news?
Subtly. It's like nothing.
It's like
I'm just gonna subtly drop this in.
All right.
Because our little melty boy got some gains. I don't know if you saw this or not.
Cerebi. Oh yeah, this thing.
You see the new form?
Yeah, it's pretty great.
He's incredible. So we can talk about that if you want. We don't have to, but
no, we can. Hello everyone, welcome to the charge shut. No. Hello everyone, welcome to the viewing. No, I need a pause for edit.
Or just start there. That's also good.
Hello everyone, welcome to the video game news and news show. Host, host Thomas and Justin.
Hi. How you doing? How's your mom?
Hey. You don't talk about my mom.
No, I'm asking the audience. I want to know how each of their mothers are. Tweet at me. 0 score. With an underscore, not the other guy.
Should the audience member tweet at you or their mom?
Either.
Okay.
Some moms don't have Twitter, so if you just want to, update me for them, that's fine too. I don't care about your dads, though. Dads are stupid. Except Thomas's dad. He's pretty cool.
My dad is sweet.
Yeah. And my father-in-law is a pretty good guy, too.
Alright.
So not all dads are dumb. Mostly mine. Let's move on. I'm getting sad.
Damn, do we have any sad news stories today? Because I was speaking of sad. I don't think we do.
Sonic Team Racing was delayed?
Alright, fine, we'll go with that.
That's the saddest thing.
It's been delayed to mid-2019, so it actually has a chance to be bought.
Right? They say it's for quality control. I'm pretty sure that's like business lingo for no, we're not coming out with all those other games. You kidding me?
Yeah. Its new release date is May 21st. I didn't even realize this was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, me either. That's why they moved it. Like, we're actually pretty excited about this game, and we didn't even know it was coming out soon. So,
yeah,
good call, Sega. Well done. But it's gonna be like right in the middle of the summer drought, so like it's actually probably gonna do pretty well. There's like it's just like the Sonic Transformed game that came out as like a Wii U launch title, not quite launch title, but like close to launch. It sold super well because there was no Mario Kart game yet. This like is kind of the opposite because Mario Kart's out, but like, I mean, it's been a while. People want something new. So like this is going to come out and actually probably be pretty big. It's going to scratch that itch as the new racing game on Switch.
Oh, you haven't heard of that other kart racer?
No.
The Nickelodeon one?
Oh, yeah, I just blanked it out of existence already. It doesn't look terrible, but I just don't care about Nickelodeon characters.
You don't want to race with SpongeBob?
No, I hate SpongeBob. Can I blow him up?
No. We're not going to get into this.
SpongeBob's garbage.
SpongeBob.
I hope he dries up.
SpongeBob is great.
I hope he dries up and becomes someone's Brillo pad that they use to wipe their butt. I don't know. I lost track of that metaphor. I just want to see him pooped on.
Speaking of things getting pooped on,
nice.
I don't know.
You have nothing for that.
The Devil May Cry 5 jacket.
There you go. Oh yeah, I don't have that on here. I forgot about that.
So there's gonna be
let's poop on that.
Yeah, let's poop on that. Devil May Cry 5's Ultra Limited Edition costs $8,000. That's 8,000.
There's 3 different ones.
There's 3 different jackets?
Yeah.
What?
Did you not actually read it?
I didn't read any of these. What are you talking about?
Wow. GG. Okay, there's actually a lot of news. You just didn't put any of it in the notes, and I didn't look any further than that.
I totally did.
You didn't.
Look at CSG notes. There's like a ton of shit in there.
We are stopping the show to prove you wrong. Never mind. I stopped.
All right, there we go. That's what
I lied. Well, because it got to a point where I thought it was the show notes. Like the preview of it looked different, and so I thought it was show notes, but it wasn't. My bad.
Okay.
Anyway,
there was a bunch of IGN articles or links that like started with an M dot, so I had to delete the M dot, and then it didn't load up the preview text.
I literally only like look up news for you guys when I'm at work bored on my phone.
Yeah, I know. So like
which is never, because I always have a lot to do. If anyone's listening, so.
But I have to edit the links so that it doesn't look weird on desktop.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
And then like
but the point is, that's the mobile version. So like everything I post has the mobile link.
That's fine.
I'm not gonna go into desktop mode just to get you a link.
That's fine. I just edit the link. God damn it. That's fine.
Anyway, there's 3 coats. V, I don't know who V is the cheapest, coming in at $5,300. The Nero version costs $6,600.
Wait.
And the Dante coat costs $8,000. The funny thing about this, aside from just the fact that they're stupidly expensive jackets for fake characters, is that it says the jackets have been scaled to match have been sized to match the scale of the characters in Devil May Cry 5. So if you're not the same dimensions of them, screw you. And have been battle damaged in advance. In Nero's case, this means one of the sleeves has been torn off at the elbow. So you're paying thousands of dollars for a ripped up jacket. Neat.
Yeah, there's gonna be suckers that pay for this shit.
Yeah, and they're never gonna wear it because it's a collectible.
They're gonna frame it, put it up in their house. Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask you, what's the deal with this like really crappy black vest that doesn't look like anything?
Maybe that's V?
That's probably V. Because at least the blue one looks kind of cool. I would actually wear that jacket.
Oh yeah, like Nero's jacket is neat. Although it's a torn up jacket. Like, yeah. Let us do that over time by wearing it.
Right.
But yeah, that's probably the best one of the 3.
Dante's jacket doesn't even look like Dante's jacket.
No, it looks cheap. These things all look cheap. I should get Brooke's opinion on these, but she won't listen to me if I yell her name right now.
Why not?
Because she doesn't listen to me.
Okay.
Brooke! See, she's not going to listen to me. I'll give it 5 seconds, and she won't come in here. Guarantee it. Nope. Fuck. She's dead to me.
Alright. Speaking of cheap, Microsoft Game Pass is coming to PC.
Didn't it already? We talked about this.
Yeah, we have talked about it, but in a fall year 19 FY19 Q1 earnings
fiscal
call,
year.
Fiscal
you work
year,
for a business. You should know that.
Yeah, whatever. This business doesn't make any money.
Jeez. There are Chinese money laundering companies, so
right. Yeah, fiscal year 19 Q1 earnings call. Firm discussed its increased cross-platform presence with the Xbox brand. Now, following the success of the Xbox Game Pass, Xbox One, Netflix-style subscription service for games, Nadella announced plans to expand to PC. That's pretty much all there was to say about that. So, like, the obvious move is being made, which is good.
Yeah, but like we had talked about this because I was looking up Forza, and you said you thought that it was available on Game Pass. I looked up the PC version of Game Pass, and Forza 4 wasn't on there, only 3 was.
That's weird. It should be on there. That's how I downloaded it.
Right, it only has the games that are available like for Play Anywhere on PC. But like Game Pass was a thing on PC already. So I don't know why this is news. That's what I'm confused about.
It's that they're expanding it. It's not just going to be the 10 games that's on there now.
Oh, so like every Xbox game is going to be on there?
That's probably where this is going, I would assume.
Because then I'd use it.
Yeah,
that's what I've been saying. Is like it's a problem that like there's nothing available on there.
Exactly. So yeah, that's all. There's just that one paragraph of text that's relevant.
Okay, because this confused me.
Okay. Speaking of confusing, Bethesda 76 PvP details.
Yeah, this is pretty confusing. You're right.
So
You didn't read this, did you?
I read it. I actually read this one before we started.
Okay, then continue.
So the way that PvP is going to be working is that it'll start at level 5, and if someone attacks you, you'll take minuscule amounts of damage until you attack back, and then you'll be in a duel.
So you can't ignore it, but they're still gonna hurt you.
Right. Like how reduced is this? This is 1 HP per hit, or is this
Right.
like 10? Who knows?
It's weird.
It's weird. Yeah, when the duel begins, you'll be able to feel full damage. Bottom of the screen, blah 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 blah. Whatever.
It's weird. Like, basically, anyone can attack you without, like, any consequence, really. I mean, if they kill you, there's consequence. But, like, if they can just go around, like, pew, 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 like, you know, chipping away, like, maybe 1 HP at a time, let's assume. But you just basically stay passive until you attack them back, and then a duel starts and you do full damage to each other.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be an annoyance over anything. People just
have-
going around like,
Yeah, and if you attack back, they have the drop on you because they already dealt you damage.
Right. But they did say that the duels scale. So, like, if you're fighting someone that's like level 30 and you're level 5, they're going to do the same damage output as if they were level 5.
That's
or
good.
as if you were level 30. So, like, there is that, but it's still just a goofy thing. Like, have it be like Diablo 2, I think it was, where there's safe zones where no one can hurt each other, like towns and stuff. And you both have to agree to a duel before anything happens. Although there were times in Diablo 2 where, like, I would team up with someone and they would go violent against me, like, after we were already in a party. Which basically, like, you're not initiating a duel or anything. It just means that they're no longer on your party and they're waiting for you to, you know, to accept the duel. But, like, if you're in the middle of a big group of enemies and they just drop from your party, suddenly you don't have any help for all the enemies and they run away. Or, like, they would I can't remember, it's been too long. There was something with, like, town where it's like they would go rogue and then, like, leave town, and, like, as soon as I left town they would attack me.
Yeah.
And I can't remember why, because you still have to initiate it. But it was annoying. I don't know. But that's still a better system because, like, you both have to agree to it before any damage can happen.
Yeah.
This just doesn't really make sense.
I would have preferred... I know this isn't the type of game they're trying to make, but I would have preferred if it was just, like, PvP servers, or if there was just, like, a combat, like a Thunderdome or something that you could go into.
Yeah.
Like, that would be pretty cool. But that's not...
Or if they just did it more like the base game, where... Because I get what they're trying to do. It's like everyone is the NPCs as well as the villains and everything in the game.
Yeah.
But there's also regular enemies.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it should be more like... you know, you walk up to someone as an NPC, they're a person, but it's like you can choose to trade with them, you can choose to battle with them, whatever you want to do, but it's like kind of the dialogue tree of, hey, I'm a person, what do you want to do with me? And then, like, if you both choose the battle option, then it kind of, like, gives you maybe 5 seconds or so of invisibility to kind of, like, you know, get your ground, like, get in hiding or whatever, and then it starts the duel. Rather than just, like, the annoying people that are just going to go around, pew, 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 just hitting everyone just because they can. And it's a minor inconvenience, but it makes them more susceptible to being killed by other things. This game seems weird. I'm not sure I care.
Yeah.
I want to care, but it's not doing anything for me so far.
Yeah. I need to see this thing spread its wings and try to fly.
Yeah, I've already heard some stuff about, like, the previews and how, like, the worst parts of the game are the Fallout parts, because they just kind of, like, shoehorned in, like, the Pip-Boy and VATS and stuff like that into this, like, MMO style game.
There's a VATS system?
But yeah, but like you can't slow down or stop gameplay in an online game. So
Yeah.
basically, all it is just like a method to pinpoint body parts.
Oh.
Like it doesn't slow down or anything. It is kind of like when you shoot, it like aims at certain areas depending on what you aim at. And you can like disable their, you know, their arms or something, for example.
Yeah.
If you aim at their arms, but it's like it's not interesting. Like that's not what VATS is. VATS used to be a really cool tactical thing in Fallout 1 and 2, and even 3 in New Vegas, even though they were first-person shooters, that was still a tactical advantage.
I mean,
4 ruined it by making it a slowdown.
That's just how you played that game. You didn't use any... Like, you would mostly just use VATS the whole time.
Right. It was not a shooter game. Like 4 made it. I really don't like Fallout 4. That was the beginning of the end for me. But also, again, like you can't stop gameplay when you're in the Pip-Boy. So you're basically like navigating the awkward Fallout menus that are the same as in 4, but in real time. So imagine going through all that stuff like equipping. Are you loud enough right now? All those like equipping stuff and like getting rid of junk and all that while like everyone's around you just pew 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 annoying you with 1 HP at a time. And like enemies are coming up and attacking you while you're trying to like, you know, loot corpses and stuff like it's not something that's built to be an online game, I don't think, with the way it is. They would have to adjust it to work in an online setting. And they're not. They're just throwing the Fallout 4 engine into an online server.
Yeah.
It's not what... I don't know. I was excited for an online Fallout, but they're being really lazy with it.
Yeah, I think there could have been something cool there if they made it something like a Destiny where, you know, or like just like or Borderlands or whatever, you know? Like you stomp around with your friends, collect loot.
Yeah. A drop-in, drop-out multiplayer instead of an online, online only game where, you know, time never stops or whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Speaking of online games with like Borderlands and Destiny, Hellgate London returns to Steam this November.
That was a lot of transition.
Yeah. Have you ever played Hellgate London?
No.
Okay. You never even heard of it, right?
I think I've heard of it. Is Hellgate a series or is it only one game?
I think Hellgate was like... It's only one game. I think it's only one game. But I think Hellgate was like a comic book or something, or like a show or something.
Because Hellgate sounds familiar. I just don't know if I've heard of London or if that's just, you know, it's a subtitle that I don't know.
Anyways, I played Hellgate London back in the day with my dad. It was like the next... It was like the next game, like the next Diablo type of game that we played, where you teamed up with someone else. I teamed up with my dad, and you just go through dungeons and collect loot. And it's kind of like one of the first games that brought in that Borderlands / Destiny style game. And it didn't really take off at all. Like it failed miserably. I just don't think it was marketed all that well. And there wasn't a whole lot. I don't think there was a whole lot to do, but it was really novel for the time. Like it was a co-op shooter, right, with loot progression.
Oh, I see procedurally generated maps.
Yeah. It's like the Diablo thing in the first game where you just go into the dungeon and you just keep going down, down, down.
Yeah, for some reason that works in Diablo. Like that's the only time I don't mind it. And I think it's because you kind of like you uncover the map as you go, so you wouldn't really know if it was the same anyway.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know it's the same anyway for something like this or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like that top-down idea. Because like the map doesn't matter, really. You're just walking around.
Okay.
Like for example, in like the Metroidvania type procedurally generated games or something like that, where it's like you're just going, you know, forward and around. And like you die and respawn back at the beginning, it's like you know that you're running a different, like it's you're never progressing. In Diablo, you're progressing. You go act by act by act. It's just the map is different every time you go back to that act. That's not a big deal.
anyways, back to the story. Yeah. I mean, we could talk about it, but we talked about it so many times. And you know, my stance on it is that, yeah, I think that it's just not, it doesn't feel as handcrafted, you know? Like, it's not artisanal. It's not artisanal. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
Yeah. Hellgate London. Only the single player mode is coming back, though. Of Hellgate Tokyo's version 2.0. So, like the co-op stuff that you did with your dad wouldn't be an option? No, there's no multiplayer stuff in this. Which is
probably because the servers are too expensive.
I assume so, but I assume people will probably try to hack this game to make it play online.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean, there's net play for SNES games.
Yeah,
like they can make it work.
Speaking of making it work, Melton has a new form, and he's making it work.
Yeah, he's working it 24/7 at the gym.
So this is an evolution, right? That's what they are in Pokemon?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't act like you've never played Pokemon.
I've played Pokemon. It's been years. It's been like 5, maybe 4 years since I played a Pokemon game. So, cut me some slack.
That's only like one generation behind. Like, you probably didn't play Sun and Moon.
No.
That's about it.
Yeah.
X and Y? Did you play those?
I played Y. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's like one generation behind.
That's actually the only Pokemon game I ever beat.
Oh, I didn't beat that one. I didn't like it.
It's the only one I've ever beat.
I didn't even get to the gyms on that one.
What? God damn.
I liked the Pokemon, but the game was boring.
It played like Pokemon.
It felt very formulaic. It was like it was the first like original game on 3DS, but it didn't feel like it transitioned to the new hardware very well. Anyway, our little Melty boy is all grown up and jacked. His name is Melmetal, which is a stupid name, and they should feel bad about it.
They should just call it Metal.
Right? Or, like, Mel tanked, because he's jacked now.
There's already a milk tank.
True.
There we go. That's
Mel.
it. Right
all right, coming up with names is harder than I thought. Fine, Mel Metal works. Anyway, yeah, they're calling this the first legendary Pokemon to evolve, which is confusing because Manaphy, which I think was from the X and Y ones, it might be earlier, I don't remember, had a pre-evolution called Fion, and was considered I think it was a mythical Pokemon. There's weird like distinctions of like legendaries. I think are like literally like one per game, and they're special event Pokemon or whatever. And then mythicals are just like you find them in the game, but they're not as special or something. I don't know.
What's a Rayquaza? Is that legendary?
Rayquaza is legendary.
Okay.
But the point is, like, I thought that Manaphy was also a legendary Pokemon that had 2 forms. But it's like a weird one where you can breed it and get a Fion, but Fion doesn't evolve into Manaphy. So it's like it's only a one-way form thing. I don't know.
That's weird.
So like I guess they're calling this the first one to evolve because it's actually like a legendary Pokemon that has a second form. Whereas that was kind of a special case before. But it's a weird technicality and I don't like it. Just let it be its own thing. But yeah. Dude is buff, and I think it's funny. This is not a great design, honestly. A lot of people are calling it like a new Regigigas. But it's just straight steel type, so it's not that great. Like, it's kind of boring typing. And he's that stereotypical, like, you know, little cute thing becomes a big buff thing that they have every generation. But I also didn't expect this thing to get an evolution, so it's kind of funny and noteworthy just because of that.
This thing kind of looks like it's been made from other Meltans. It's kind of like a Power Rangers thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Like,
yeah.
The description of Meltan says that it can use its metal arms and legs to corrode metal and absorb it into its own body. So it's like basically the way you actually evolve it is to capture a bunch of Meltan in Pokemon Go. That's kind of the newsworthy part of this, just so you know. All of this has been garbage up until now, but now's the news.
Oh, now's the news. Okay.
Yeah. It's the news. So yeah, you evolve it by getting a bunch of Meltan in Pokemon Go, which are not available right now. Previously, any you would get would turn into Ditto once you caught them. So I guess it's actually going to be available in Pokemon Go in the future. And I think you get like 400 candies or something from Meltan, which if you get 3 to 6 candies per Meltan, that's a lot of liquid metal. And then 400 candies, you evolve it into Melmetal, and then you transfer Melmetal into Pokemon Let's Go. Because you can't catch Meltan or Melmetal in Pokemon Let's Go. You can only transfer them from Pokemon Go. So it's weird. It's like basically this is a Pokemon that's exclusive to Pokemon Go, can only be evolved in Pokemon Go, but can be transferred to Pokemon Let's Go. Which there's been so many of these examples where like they have a weird, unique way to like a certain game of how to evolve them, and then future games come out, and that way isn't a thing anymore. So they just have to change the way it's evolved. Like Pokemon's stupid. I was thinking about this recently, actually. Like the news is over. No more news. But like right now with Pokemon Let's Go, Gen 4 is about to come to. Well, Gen 4 is in Pokemon Go, but like the evolved forms and stuff aren't there yet. But anyway, Pokemon Let's Go is just the first gen Pokemon, like the original 151 plus apparently Meltan and Melmetal.
Is that out?
Sure. No, it comes out early November.
Okay.
Like soon. 2 weeks, maybe? Anyway. And in those games, like I said, you have the original 151, but you can't evolve them into their 4th gen forms that were discovered later. They have the Alolan forms that you can use in the game, which were discovered after those 4th gen forms, but you can't evolve them because 4th gen isn't in the game. So, like, that's the stupid thing about Pokemon. Like, there's been multiple Eevees since, 1st gen, but you can't evolve into those later gen Eevees. You can only evolve into the Gen 1 Eevees. Or Gen 1 Eeveelutions, whatever. So, like, yeah, I'm on my soapbox now. You can just deal with it. So, they create these new Pokemon, but you can't use them unless you have that gen available to you. That's like I don't like these remakes because they take in like the modern sensibilities of things, but they negate any future Pokemon that happened, and that doesn't make any sense to me because like there are new forms of those Pokemon that have been discovered.
Just don't.
So why can't you use them?
Don't apply a timeline to Pokemon. It's like applying a timeline to Mario. It doesn't make any sense.
But there is a timeline. That's the thing. Like they can't have a timeline if they're not going to acknowledge it. All they'd have to do, like, they don't have to make 4th gen available in Pokemon Let's Go. In this case, this is one example. They just have to let you actually evolve those Pokemon into the future forms. Why does everything have to be split up into generations? Why can't you just have these are Pokemon that exist in this game? They already have Meltan and Melmetal, which are clearly 8th gen Pokemon because they're 808 and 809 numbers. But you can't evolve your Electabuzz or Magmar because those are 4th gen Pokemon. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Right, it's like having a frog suit in Mario 3 and then not having it in Mario World.
Well, those are entirely different worlds.
Okay.
That suit only exists in that. I don't know. You're right. Or it's like when a Metroid game.
I'm trying to save you from having your head explode.
It just annoys me. And they can argue all they want that, like, well, they don't have those evolution items in the game, so you just the evolutions could be there, but you can't evolve. But no, that's not true because you need to be able to transfer those evolved forms into the game, and that's not allowed either. So they just block off evolutions of Pokemon that they made because they're not in that gen, and that annoys me.
Do you want to talk about Nintendo Labo?
Sure.
we have to keep going.
There's another Pokemon Go related story. But
is there? What is it? What's the other one?
Yeah, it's that stupid thing I sent you about the Pokemon Go clone.
Oh, what?
Did you not see that?
I clicked the link and it gave
fantastic.
It gave me Meltan.
No, this is a separate thing.
Oh, where's the other?
This was from earlier in the week.
Oh.
I'll do it. You find it.
I didn't click on it.
A new Pokemon Go clone has been made, and it's all about collecting Catholic saints.
Oh shit! Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, it's an officially Vatican-supported augmented reality game called Follow JC Go, which is just a stupid name.
Follow
so
JC
yeah,
Go.
it uses similar AR technology, that same kind of idea of like overlaying your game on top of a real world map. But instead of catching Pokemon, you are capturing famous religious figures from the Bible and otherwise.
Hell yeah. Let's get some apostles
Before capturing the saints, you'll have to answer some questions about them, and you need to keep up your hydration, nutrition, and prayer values in order to keep playing.
You're not praying enough.
So good. All the characters in the game have this like weird, like me-like design to them that just looks ugly.
Oh yeah. Holy shit!
It's like the My Sims series.
I can't tell
from the Wii.
I can't tell if the images themselves are low res or if it's just a video.
Both.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Keeping in line with the religious theme, you can also acquire more in-game currency by donating to charity.
Wow.
How nice! And I'm sure the charities are any church of your choice.
Wow. I want to know more about this prayer value. Like, if you're like have 0 prayer value, does your character die or something? It's
right?
Like, you die from not praying.
I'm sure it's just a currency that you probably get from the stops.
Probably.
But yeah, it's literally a Pokemon Go clone that is all about religion. And you capture like apostles and
saints,
like Jesus figures. Man. You wander around like collecting information about like it's so stupid, but I had to include it.
I want to know more. I want to know if there's like what kind of characters we have.
It's not available. It's only available in Italian.
Holy
right now,
shit!
So
did you see the logo for this thing? It's Jesus' legs walking across a road that's in the shape of a cross.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Oh Lord.
Some things are just hard to believe.
All right.
This isn't one of them.
No. Oh boy. All right.
Catholics are crazy.
All right, Nintendo Labo. Do you know anything about this story? I haven't read it.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. So they're taking Nintendo Labo, like the different creations and the actual like program itself, like the garage tool or whatever it's called, into about 100 classrooms, focusing on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders across the United States, in order to teach students aged 8 to 11 about the basics of like program development.
That's cool.
It says with a focus on STEAM learning, which I don't actually know what that stands for. Oh, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics.
Yeah.
So the idea of this, I'm just going to read from the article. Nintendo and the Institute of Play, who they're teaming up with, will assist teachers in integrating Nintendo Labo into their existing curriculum, and students will work in small groups to complete a series of projects that introduce principles of design and technology. Nintendo has noted that since Labo combines hands-on creation and technology, it could be a great way to teach students basic STEAM concepts and such skills as communication, creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. So this is just kind of a neat, like, let's get these, like digital/physical products into the hands of actual children that will be the future of, the industry, of the technical landscape.
Yeah.
And like start them early on like building that idea of creativity, because kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. They can create some amazing things if they're given the right tools, and they already love playing with cardboard. I sure did at that age. So this is kind of a brilliant thing, and like I respect it a lot. But I mean, I'm sure people make fun of it. It's whatever. But like this is what these things should be made for. Like to help the future generation be better. So I don't know. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like that they're getting kids to actually get into like programming and stuff. Because like when you think back, how many useless classes did we have that taught us literally nothing?
Right. Or they were lecture classes where it's like you get the concepts but you never actually do anything.
Right. And I always felt like programming or like engineering or just like how to build a computer or like something more technical would be a better skill than, I don't know, learning French for 9 years.
They've said that like the next generation is going to be severely lacking in technical ability.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of those the kind of hands-on jobs are what we're not getting.
Yeah.
So like, for example, a town I used to live in is about to get a big Quaker plant. Like not the oatmeal people, the ones that make windows and stuff. And they need like 500 workers or something in a small town. And so they're going to be focusing recruitment on the technical college there. Because if they can grab them right out of college or even high school, they can get them trained. And that's invaluable experience for a generation that isn't really focused on that stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people now are doing, business degrees like I did, or, like they want to be in office jobs or YouTube celebrities, like theater things and stuff. And so like, we're not getting a lot of those technical degrees anymore. No. That used to be the norm, back in like the industrial era and even like up through the 70s, 80s and like early 90s. Now, I mean, there are a lot of like the science jobs, like the computer engineering and things like that, like the fancy ones, but there's not the electrical engineers or maintenance,
like even
things
trades.
like that. Trades. That's what I'm thinking of. There's not those.
Yeah.
And that's what I think they're trying to focus on, is those kind of like neglected professions that we need more of. Yeah. And sure, this does also focus on science and art and things like that. It's all of that together.
Yeah.
But like computer programming is the future, and the engineering part of it is also the future, because you have to be able to make the things that you come up with the ideas for,
or fix the things that break down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to get them now, because in 10 years, the future is going to be here. Like, we're going to be screwed without a huge chunk of people that are ready to take on those positions.
Yeah. And even if people don't go into that kind of stuff, it's just good critical thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like...
it'll prepare them for anything.
The way you, like... I think building a computer, everyone should at least build a computer. Because it could teach you stuff of, like, oh, this doesn't work. Why? You figure out the solution or what the issue is. And try to solve it yourself. And you find a lot of people just not even thinking about stuff. Like, I run into problems all the time. It's like with audio, it's like, oh, this thing is broken. I'm like, no, it's not. It's this input on your other device that's broken.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
know what things plug into. Know, like, the parts that you're dealing with. So if you have issues, you can just troubleshoot the part and not, take your whole computer to Geek Squad and let them break it. Geek Squad's terrible.
Are you speaking from experience there?
I mean, I worked alongside them, and I could do their job, but I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is really cool. Like I always like, people give Nintendo crap, and they deserve it a lot of the time. But it's just always uplifting when you see these companies doing things that actually better society, because that's what they should do. So that's all.
All right, I have a segue for speaking of better society. It's the Twitch karaoke, but
nice.
Okay.
Go for it.
This was my last news story, but there's 2 other ones. I don't know if you want to do the other 2.
I mean, what are the other 2? I have more than that.
Medieval PS4 remake, and I put the No Man's Sky thing in here, but I'm not sure if I want to do that.
I'll get more than that.
Okay.
Anyways, do you want to do the Twitch thing last?
Yeah, I was gonna do the Twitch thing last.
All right, then we'll transition to something else.
Okay. What do you have?
I have the Capcom announcing Resident Evil ports.
Oh yeah.
And the Intellivision Amico console.
All right. Oh yeah, the Intellivision. That's all the way over here. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Speaking of bettering society, I don't know.
You don't have to use that transition still.
God damn it. I don't even know if Future Thomas is gonna edit this. This is gonna be a mess.
Well, now he has to.
Alright, Future Thomas, edit this shit out.
Thanks, Future Thomas.
Intellivision Amico console revealed with exclusive games coming in 2020. Is the Intellivision thing the Tommy Tallarico thing?
I don't know.
Alright.
What or who is that?
He's a composer. Video Games Live.
Oh, I don't know.
I need to see what Tommy Tallarico's up to.
Okay. He's probably dead. This thing looks kind of cool, though. Like, the controllers weirdly look like classic iPods. Or, I guess yeah, classic iPods, that's right. Because it's like a touch screen with like what I assume is an analog stick, but it kind of looks like a little scroll wheel. And no buttons, really. Like, there's stuff on the sides, but it looks like, I assume everything is on the touchpad part of the controller. But yeah. And then they, like, dock into the console for charging, probably. Like, it's kind of a neat-looking thing, but the Intellivision Amico was, like, an old system. Intellivision in general. I don't know if the Amico... I forget what they were called then, but it was an old system,
yeah.
And it was like kind of alongside the Atari and things like that. So like the fact that they're putting out a new one with like updated graphics versions of their old games plus like new exclusive games, I just kind of wonder why.
All right, so this is coming because of Tommy Tallarico. He owns Intellivision now, and
okay.
If you don't know who that is, he does Video Games Live, which is a very popular video game concert. He also did a lot of composition for video games, and I think just he made his own music as well. But I only know him because of a show called Reviews on the Run, and he used to just review video games and like cover the industry. And it was like a really popular Canadian show. So, yeah, Tommy Tallarico's
cool.
Back in.
I'm glad you took the time to look that up.
It's very important to me.
All right. Well, that's all that matters.
My Canadian pride is on the line.
Fair enough. Even though you didn't remember him.
I know who Tommy Tallarico is. I'm always thinking about him.
Creepy. Always?
That's not even true.
So my favorite thing about this reveal, like, there's some interesting stuff here, like the games that are going to be included with it, the price and stuff like that. I'll get back to that. But my favorite thing on here is that the reveal said that it includes state-of-the-art 21st century 2D image processing and graphics capability.
Oh, wow.
State-of-the-art 2D graphics capability. Cool. Neat.
That's just...
Great.
It's like an oxymoron. Yeah.
And I get what they're saying. Oh, yeah, here's Tommy Tallarico. He's down here in the description. All right. But I'd never heard that name before. But like it's a modern console because it has Wi-Fi, it has HDMI video output and stuff like that. And I get what they're saying. Like there have been some really pretty like recent 2D games. Like I love 2D over 3D a lot of the times because I think sprite art is much more artistically interesting than 3D models in most cases. But just the phrasing of that sentence sounds really goofy. Because there's nothing state-of-the-art about 2D graphics. They're just doing really impressive things with sprite art, and it's a lot cheaper to make that way. But anyway, it says all of its games will be downloadable. There's no like console, or there's no cartridge port or anything on it, and will run between $3 and $8 US money, with no DLC or in-game purchases. It will launch with some pre-installed Intellivision classics, so like remastered versions of old games, and over 20 games at launch through the Intellivision online store. There will also be similar Atari and Imagic classic titles. The games coming to the Amico feature updated graphics, modernized audio, additional levels, multiplayer modes for online and local co-op, or co-op competitive, tournament modes, and more. So you use these like goofy like touchscreen Bluetooth controllers to do the local co-op.
They look like Zunes.
They do. Zunes, that's a better thing than the iPod Classic. Yeah, Zunes. They're not bad. They're just, I don't understand how they work for playing these games. But
that's interesting.
Because those are like joystick, like button things, and now it's like a little weird nub and a touchscreen pad for old games. But anyway, the games they've announced for launch are, which I don't know what most of these are, but I'll say them anyway. Astro Smash, Shark.
That's a good one.
That's the name.
That's a good name.
Baseball, cool. Night Stalker, skiing, math fun, oxymoron. Pong, asteroids, centipede, Tempest, the Shakespeare play, I assume. Adventure.
You ever heard of Tempest?
No,
oh
I've heard of the Shakespeare play.
Continue.
Adventure, which I have heard of, and is like I would kind of like to see with modern graphics. Actually, that could be interesting. Missile Command, Sword and Serpents, Miner 2049er.
Yes.
Is that a Blade Runner sequel spinoff?
You're killing me here.
Super Burger Time, Toe Jam and Earl, and more. So you kind of go like further up in like graphical fidelity as you go. Because I think Toe Jam and Earl was like SNES era, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Sega Genesis.
Yeah. So interesting mix of like classic, like arcade / Atari games and like more modern, like 16-bit titles.
It's a shame that Super Burger Time is in here, but not regular Burger Time.
Well, and more, maybe. But I mean, these are all like the updated versions.
Yeah.
So maybe they figure it's updated anyway. They might as well go with the newer one.
It's not as good.
Yeah, another classic console to go alongside the Atari VCS.
And the Ouya.
No, not the Ouya.
You think this will do better than the Ouya?
No. But the Ouya is dead, so it's not even relevant. Oh, also, sorry, I missed the most important part. That this will run between $150 and $180, which is too much for this thing.
That's actually reasonable, I think.
I mean, like, for the tech, like the touchscreen controllers and stuff, I get it. But these are old, like, Atari games updated.
Right.
Until we actually see, like, I don't think this trailer for it has any actual footage of games running on it. Anyway, and it will release... Wait, what? And it's set to release in North America and Europe on October 10th, 2020.
Yep.
I didn't read that part.
You didn't read that part? It's in the headline.
Is it? Oh, yeah, I
coming
guess it
2020, coming October 10th, 2020.
All right. Well, that's weird. I'm just watching this reveal trailer here real quick to see if it actually has any footage.
At least they're not asking people to give them money so they can make it.
True.
Right?
Oh, okay. They showed the actual controller, and I can kind of understand this version of it. Because it's like, it was a little kind of knob, and then like a keypad almost on it.
Yeah.
So if they're doing the keypad or like kind of a context-sensitive menu on the touchscreen,
yeah,
and then that little thing is the knob replacement, I guess I get that. But
I think that's gonna act like a trackball for some of those older games that use the trackball.
Yeah, probably. I just hope they don't actually like factor in the like 1, 2, 3, 4 type buttons, because that's awkward.
Yeah, that's not that's outdated.
Yeah, they can have it be like, ooh, there's like cool like lighting that corresponds to the games. Like Pong like flashes when you hit the ball and stuff. there's some neat stuff on here. All right.
Yeah,
I'll give it that.
it's not terrible. I'm
No, it's
willing
not.
to give it a chance. I just need to see something more than just the classic games. That's the only thing. Right?
Yeah, definitely. They need new games on it. Like
Yeah.
it needs to actually have support for new stuff
Like
as well.
Spelunky 2 needs to come out on this or something.
Oh, there you go. But there's some nice tech. Like there's force feedback.
Yeah.
There's accelerometers. There's 4 like tactile buttons on the sides. I assume like for kind of trigger type things. There's QI charging in the actual console that the controllers are charged through, which makes sense. It's a very modern tech. I don't think there's going to be a market for this unless, like you said, there's newer games as well.
Yeah, and I assume that we're going to get new consoles in 2020, so I'll have to compete with
Yeah.
PS5 and whatever the new Xbox is going to be.
Yeah, that's why that date surprised me. I probably do remember seeing it, but that's not a good time to put this out.
Yeah.
But I know it's catering to that like NES Classic, PlayStation Classic, that kind of thing. But this does not have the same nostalgia. Like I said, I didn't know most of those games. The ones I do know, I don't care about.
You don't want to play Centipede?
I had Centipede on my old Game Boy, and it was fun. Until I got Donkey Kong Land and never touched it again.
I mean, there's other ways to play Centipede.
Yeah, right. Oh, brand new exclusive games. All right.
Yeah.
So there will be. I don't know if the new games will be worth it, but
Yeah. We need to see.
yeah.
The games. Wait, all its games are downloaded will run between $3 and $8. You already said that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a little more interesting than it was before I watched this trailer, but it's still kind of weird.
Do you know what amico means?
No.
It's Italian for friend.
Oh, that makes sense, because Spanish is amigo.
Yeah. Alright. Moving on.
Yes, please.
Medieval PS4 is a remake, not a remaster.
Uh-huh.
Alright.
I put this on here because it's
Why?
just worth noting. I don't actually care about the game.
Alright, cool. That's why I was gonna skip it. I was just like, who gives a shit about Medieval? We've already heard about the story as well.
I've never actually played Medieval.
I haven't either. Who has?
Some people have. Like, this is one of the big franchises on the PS1.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
which is weird. But, like, there's been no information about it yet since the launch. And now they're suddenly saying, oh, no, it's not. It's not a remaster like we said in the one trailer. It's a remake.
So I made a
Like,
joke.
people are misunderstanding our words. Like, no, you put it in the trailer that it's a remaster. The trailer is called Medieval PS4 Remaster Announcement Trailer.
So I put it in the Discord, is it a reboot? As a joke. Because, you know, remake, remaster, reboot.
Uh-huh.
And to you, what's the difference between the three?
A remaster uses the same assets, but just renders them up to a better resolution. So, like, Final Fantasy X, like the Final Fantasy X, X-2 remaster that was put on PS3 and PS4, that is the same game as it was on PS2. It's just, like, they improved the model, like the bump textures and things like that, to make it look closer to modern technology.
Yeah,
but they didn't remake any of the game.
Yeah, it's like they
A
try
remake.
to up-res it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A remake is like what Spyro and Crash, like those, you know, triple packs are, because they are the same game design-wise. Like, they faithfully recreated the games, but built from the ground up with new technology and stuff. So everything about it is the same, but it's not remastered because they're not just improving the original assets, they're actually remaking them from scratch. A reboot is like the new Ratchet and Clank game, where it's a retelling of that game, but it's a new game.
Okay.
So, like, for example, we talked before, last year when you were making fun of me, about Metroid Samus Returns.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
That is I mean, technically, it would be considered a remake, but in this definition, it would be a reboot of that game. See, that's where it gets foggy, because reboot technically means reboot of a series, not of a specific game.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, by this definition, the difference between a remake and a reboot is that it's actually like a different version of that thing, rather than just remaking it to be like accurate to what the original was.
I just believe that a reboot has to have at least more than 2 games in its run, like of a series or of a franchise. That's what a reboot means to me.
Fair. And if you're talking about like rebooting a series, like with Spider-Man, it's been rebooted 2 times. What the heck?
Do you still hear that?
Yeah.
Fuck.
What is that?
I'm playing with my phone and they're talking about wrestling. So leave me alone.
GG. But I'm just saying, you were asking like what the difference like functionally is between them.
Yeah,
and like to justify a reboot, it has to be like a new game that is thematically similar to what came before it.
Yeah.
So like Ratchet and Clank is literally a remake of the first Ratchet and Clank game, but it's called a reboot of the Ratchet and Clank series.
Okay.
So it's not a direct remake because there is new levels and everything like that, but it's telling the same story the first Ratchet and Clank game told.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, in this kind of definition, Metroid Samus Returns would be a reboot of Metroid 2, because it's taking what that game built and creating a new game out of it, instead of just like remaking it, frame for frame or like room for room, but with better graphics, like Spyro or Crash have done. So it's not technically a reboot, but defining it would not be a remake, because it's new elements and everything, new story and all that stuff. It's weird. There's not really a name for that, I don't think. Like building off of an old game and making it new.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's still a gray area,
right.
But that's my definitions.
I don't know. I'm skipping out on this No Man's Sky story.
That's fine.
All right. I just brought
I didn't
that
read
up
it anyway.
Yeah, if we had more people here, I would have brought it up because it was Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that discussion from last year about Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I asked my coworkers about that today because we were listening to Nightmare Before Christmas music on their Halloween playlist in the office. And I asked, like, which do you think it is? And they said that it has Christmas in the title, but it also, like, the title is The Nightmare Before Christmas. So it's not technically about Christmas. It's about the nightmare before Christmas. So it's about Halloween. But I said it's also okay for it to be a movie about both. And they were like, okay, then it's about both.
Okay.
So it's kind of a cop-out. Like, if it has to be one or the other, it's a Halloween movie, but it's both. Just for the record. That's what people in my office have said.
All right. I guess no one's ever heard of the story Night Before Christmas, but all right.
Well, yeah, that's about the night before Christmas.
Yeah, this is
about the nightmare before Christmas, which is Halloween.
But it's playing off the title of a Christmas story.
Uh-huh. Because it's a Halloween story that takes place before Christmas.
Move on. This episode has been a nightmare.
Before Christmas. Because it's almost Halloween. Spooky, spooky skeletons.
Right. I actually play that song in my office too, so it's a great song. Twitch adds built-in karaoke game for streamers.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 That's my contribution to this story.
Okay, cool. Created in partnership with Rock Band Studio Harmonix. Actually, that's pretty great if they're working with Harmonix. Like, I'm always wondering, like, what's Harmonix up to? Like, I'm always worried about them because
they're ditching the plastic instruments and just using their song library for good.
Yeah, that's great. I'm just glad that they still have people in business there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Everyone knows the best part of Rock Band is the singing.
Is the drums.
also good. But it's like they choose the songs based on the vocal tracks, because every song has to have all of the instruments for the most part. So the only ones worth doing are the ones that have good vocal tracks, because the singer always chooses the song. Because anyone can, do the guitar or drums.
I never had a singer. We weren't that popular. We only had 2 people do our rock bands. It was me and my dad.
We always fought over the mic. It was like, okay, you do 2 songs, I'll do 2 songs. It's like, no, I really want to do that song that you just picked. Yeah. It's like, we'll do it again.
Yeah. The only time we ever had a singer was if my cousins came over and they wanted to sing.
Mm. I only like singing and drums, and even I get bored on drums after a while.
Oh man, there's something about drums. It's just so rhythmic that I feel like I just get lost in. It's like,
yeah.
And then you do that sick ass drum roll, like yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, Twitch Sings is the dedicated app that lets streamers play a karaoke game with their viewers. While streamers sing songs, their viewers can use special chat options to start light shows on the virtual stage, as well as propose different challenges. The viewers can also use the chat to request the next song a streamer will have to sing. There'll be hundreds of songs available to choose from. According to Twitch, which should keep streams from getting stale too quickly. Those curious to try the beta of Twitch Sings can sign up on the official website right now. All you need to do is give your name, Twitch username, email address, and preferred platform. The game will support Windows and iOS later in 2018, with Android support also coming in the future. Along with the Twitch Sings announcement, the company has revealed the success it's had on Twitch Rivals event. 55 of these events been hosted to date. That's something else entirely.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I don't know why it has to.
It's so that they could put a link in there for another story that they wrote.
I know, and they usually have word limits too, so it's like they have to just kind of fill it with other stuff.
Yeah.
But no, this is really cool.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. Like, Twitch should be more of a community thing and not just watching people play Fortnite. So this is kind of brilliant. And like, we tried to do like a little karaoke thing before, like just as a group, with some other people. And it didn't really work out because it's like it was using, what was it, Rabbit or something?
Yeah, we're using Rabbit.
And like you would have to either sync the audio or sync the the song to the singer or to everyone else. And obviously you have to sync it to the singer because they need to be correct. So it would like we were in like a Google chat or Skype chat or something like that. So the audio was coming through separately from the music, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It's like this is the kind of thing where you could have multiple people in a Hangouts chat or something, and like they just trade off songs on the Twitch stream. So yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah. And
we'll have to test it out after it gets out of beta, because I doubt any of us could get into the beta. But.
I just signed up for the beta to see if we could get in.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I always enjoyed doing the musical stuff on my streams. I used to I played like Guitar Hero and stuff, and then Rock Band, and that was always fun. And my chat always wanted me to sing, so I grabbed the microphone and started singing. It's great. Like,
yeah,
I don't do karaoke outside of streams, but
I try to.
I like doing it with friends.
Yeah. I usually just have like the few times I stream, I just have a Spotify going, and like if there's a song I like, I'll sing a little bit and then go back to commentary, and then like it's a casual thing, but like people want to hear people sing. Like that's why karaoke is popular.
Yeah.
And everything's online now, so make karaoke on Twitch. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I feel like people have been trying to do this for so long, and the fact that they're gonna have this built into their service is gonna make it so much easier.
Yeah. You don't have to like find some stupid workarounds like Rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's all the stories for today. Justin, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter if they search for Zero Score, but with an underscore, unfortunately. Or if they go to YouTube and just look for Zero Score with a space between the two words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The underscore is between the two words on the other stuff, though.
Correct.
It's not zero score underscore.
No, it's 2 words, so I separate it.
It's 0 underscore score.
Yes, it is.
I don't know why you hate that so much.
It sounds so stupid.
It's hilarious.
Like, what if you had to, like, introduce yourself, like, if your middle name was, like, Tom or something. And so you're like, hey, I'm Thomas Tom. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, but that's a real name. Zero score is not your real name.
No, but it's, like, it's the identity online, so it's still, like...
Okay.
I can't say my other example because it's too personal.
Okay.
I'll tell you later, but it's like when you have to repeat something like that, it just sounds awkward to say, and so I don't want to say it.
But you just say it fast, so they don't see what you're saying.
I'm 0 underscore score.
Yeah.
No, that's not any better. That just sounds like 3 words that sound stupid together.
Anyways,
where can people find you?
You can find me on the internet, CSG Thomas on Twitter. You can also check me out on charshot.com. That's where all of our audio, video, and written content lives. And you can also email me personally, thomas@charshot.com, to tell me I'm a stupid head.
Do that.
Until then, enjoy your games.
I might do that. All right.
Oh wait, hang on. I need to stop the stream.